It's your Peace Sermon Preview. Here we go, following the 2 commandments. Jesus had another quiz. What commandment is the first overall, was the question. Jesus answered the question by giving the people what they already knew but weren't expecting. Do you know the 10 commandments? How could you? They've been removed from the courthouse. How will we ever learn to follow the rules if the monument of them isn't in the courthouse? If we don't have the 10 commandments, the 10 rules as a guide for us every time we go to court, society will fall into turmoil and no one will ever do the right thing. We'll have to put them in the schoolrooms. I can imagine a similar scenario involving the protection of the best of the commandments by making the local hero look bad by giving the wrong answer to such an absurd question. But Jesus responded with a perfect answer yet again. Jesus responded in Mark 12:28-34 to the scribe's question of which commandment is first overall by going outside of the expected 10. He gave them the scriptures. First, the great Shema from Deuteronomy 6:4-9. The affirmation of faith that begins with the Hero Israel phrases that parents are supposed to repeat and teach their children and put on their doorposts. This one is, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. Then Jesus gave them other words they were familiar with from Leviticus 19:18. Love your neighbor as yourself. And no one could respond. Jesus gave it to them in plain talk. Those were the 2, and everything else hinged and hinges on them. Of course, the question, who is my neighbor, comes to mind with that second one. Jesus addressed that another time, with the answer being just as simple. Everyone is your neighbor. So, those 2 commandments, the most important ones, the ones that inform everything else, love God, love others. You may have heard those before. Any questions?